All right, we're live.
Hello, everyone. It is Monday, April the 15th, and I, as probably many of you, are watching as Notre Dame in Paris, the icon, is burning to the ground. They have ruled that they don't think it's terrorism, but this is one that always gets me. They don't know what to cause the fire, but they ruled out terrorism. And I'm kind of wondering, if you don't know what it is, how do you know it's not terrorism? But it's a sad day for the world to see it burn down. As I've heard on the news, many of the structures inside the artwork, the people that had the skills to do that work exist no longer. They have died off. So it's truly a loss. Truly, truly a loss this day. Now, news of the day other than that, and it kind of puts a damper on any news of good tidings. But today, I heard that Wall Street Journal, they have figured that Trump can win. They figure he might win in his 2020 election bid. Folks, we have to be sure of that. I've also noticed that the Democrats are getting, some of the old guard Democrats are getting paranoid about the new breed just openly declaring socialism. They fear what I know, what you and I hope to be true. They fear that it's too soon, just too soon, to think that there aren't enough Americans that understand what socialism is and communism that will resist. Unlike them, my hopes are that we still have enough of us left. I told you Friday the good news. The good news, Mitch McConnell announced that they were going to tie, or he was going to ask all of the Republican candidates for the Senate to drive the point home about their opposition being socialism. This is a huge victory for us, guys. Huge. Now, it's not just our voice. Now we've got the president. And in his campaign, he will be trumpeting socialism. Now we've got most, if not all, of the Republican senators who will be trumpeting the cry of never socialism or some variation of. Now they're working on the House. They're trying to get the Republican members of the House and the Republican candidates that are going to be running for the House to do the same. Now, what does that mean to us? It means repetition, folks. It means that even though the media will try to shut down what we're trying to say, they will try to block our message getting out. With all of the candidates using it, with the president using it, the message is going to get out. That is a godsend if they all hold to it. And of course, we've got to hope they hold to it. But I think most of them, if you understand politicians, most of them, I believe, will. Why? Because I know one thing. There's only one thing they care about, and that's their job. And if they want to keep their job, they're going to have to defeat the progressive Democrats that are coming on strong. And I believe that out of fear, if for no other reason, I certainly don't think they're doing it out of patriotism. Don't get me wrong. I don't believe the Republican candidates or Mitch McConnell. I don't believe they're out and crying never so can get. Now today's Monday. We just went through a weekend. So I would ask anybody, Mary Ellen, if they will, go ahead. If they've got questions that have come up over the weekend or comments, get them in now so we don't run out of time. I've got an appointment I've got to be with, so we may end up cutting the program a little bit short. So if you've got questions or comments, come on through with them now. You know, we're back to where we were in the beginning. We're back looking at a future that unless something changes, we're looking at a defining moment. November the 20th, or November of 2020, a defining moment. They don't come very often, guys. Not once in every lifetime even. They come very seldom. But it's a gift, I believe. Now this is in my heart of hearts. I'm honored that we get to take part in one. It doesn't mean we're going to win. It doesn't mean that we're guaranteed victory. But it means we're guaranteed to be able to fight. That we're going to be the ones that get to carry on in the honor and name of the founding fathers. See, our revolution or this revolution is just as important as the one they fought for. They fought to set us free. We've got to fight to keep us that way. It's a big deal. I know the internet's full of all kinds of theories and conspiracies and plots, and I understand all of that. I don't like it, but I understand it. We have got to energize the people in this country that are still here and know what socialism truly means. You know, for the longest time, I had the attitude that we would just have to step over and exclude the millennials. But it's been pointed out to me, and rightly so, that there are some millennials, some that are standing up for conservative causes, principles. We need to invite them. We need to include them. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't think we're going to be able to turn the masses of the millennials over. But we're going to need every vote we can get. Every vote. So, if any of you have connections or know of people that are part of some college organization, if we can get involved, please do. Please get in touch with them. Ask them to come here. Ask them to text us. Let us know they're interested in being a part. I assure you, their lives will be totally affected by the outcome of the election in 2020. Mary Ellen, anybody sent anything yet?
Yes. Do you think Trump will pardon Assange and keep him as an intelligence agent or intelligence asset?
I don't know. I really don't. I have no idea. As I've told y'all, my position on the side is kind of weird. One side is wrong, terribly wrong, what he did. On the other side, he's been almost a patriot in the fact that he did do what he did. Just think, folks, if the information he made public had not have come out, there's a better than average chance Hillary would have won. So, I don't know what President Trump is going to do. I think he'll have to work that out. I can say this, trying to get some water on the road, I can say this, that if he pardons Assange, I think he'll pay a severe me greatly is our southern border. We're sitting here with 100 to 150,000 a month now, it seems, coming into this country illegally. With each one of them having a cost per year on the American taxpayer of $74,000 a year. I have been informed by sources that I know that deal in worldly financial matters. And they told me something that's shocking. I was told that if this level of 100,000 plus keeps going at the cost per, 74,000 a year per each one, that if we go 6 to 8 months of it, there's a good chance that we'll drop 1 or 2 points or 2 places in our credit rating. Right now we're AAA. That would drop us down to a B plus. That would have severe economic consequences on our nation. So isn't it funny how illegal immigration is a bigger problem than even people think about? I mean, yes, we got people coming. If there's 100,000 and just 10% are criminals, that's 10,000 a month crossing into this country every month. 10,000 criminals every month. And I don't know if that's 10% is high or low. God help us if it's low. Think about it. If we're bringing in 20%, 20,000 plus people a month that are coming here to commit crime, do you have any idea the burden financially that will place on the country? And even if it's 10%, 10,000, think of the massive draw on our economy. Now, I do hope President Trump sticks to his guns and exposes the Democrats for the hypocrites that they are. I hope he shoves all of the illegals coming into this country into these sanctuary states and sanctuary cities. All I've heard for 2 years is that they want them, that it makes for a healthy community, and by God, let it go. Take them to them. I don't know if he does that, how the courts will react, but we're already seeing where these sanctuary states and cities are saying, guess what? Whoa, you can't do that to us.
Except Chicago.
Yeah, you can't do it. How much do the American people have to see until they wake up? How much has got to happen until their eyes are literally pried open? What's the deal? You want the illegals to come. You break away from the nation's laws and set yourself up as a sanctuary state, city, or whatever. But yet, when the opportunity arises to protect all of these illegal immigrants coming in each month, it's your chance to show your colors. It's your chance to protect them and love them. Welcome them to your community and let them become productive members of your communities. Why is it they don't want it? You see, isn't it funny? They don't want it. They know reality. The reality is you bring them all in, they can't take it. They will bust at the seams. Their budgets, their state budgets, their city budgets, their county budgets, they'll all bust. And they know it. So they don't want us to send them yet. It's okay for them to come into our cities and counties and states. I hope Trump goes through with it. I truly do. And maybe, just maybe, there'll be an element of our society that will finally wake up and see that the Democrats' position on the board and all of the candidates for president, their position on the board is purely fake, done just for one reason, to hurt Trump. Trump in defeating him, they are willing to let the country suffer the damage that it's suffering from our southern border. They're willing to sit back and let our credit rating be destroyed. And that is when the credit rating goes, if it drops significantly, so goes our economy. They're willing to not do their job as legislators, not tend to business that they're sent there to tend to, just so that they can spend their time trying to destroy President Trump. It's got to end. The end has got to come. And I've told y'all before, but I'll tell you again. When you hear the name President Trump, when you hear him being called out by the media, you need to replace his name with us, ours. He represents people that are not a part of the criminal organization that runs Washington, D.C. He represents all of us. And what they're saying when they're trying their best to eliminate President Trump and get him out of office, they want him gone. They don't want his agenda damaged. They don't want to slow his agenda. They want that man out of their office that they control, and they know it. They don't want us there. They don't want us to have one single thing to do with our government, except every 2 and 4 years to make us believe that we do. You see, there are elections in Cuba. It's not uncommon in socialist countries, communist countries. It's not uncommon to have elections. If they pick who you get to vote for. And the election is predetermined before anybody ever casts a vote. That's what they've tried to do here. The two-party system has, for the past, well, for as many years as I can remember, since the day I was born, the two-party system simply means we get to choose between the lesser of two evils. It's got to end. And it's got to end November 2020. Now I wonder if any of you, all of you, any of you have been able to talk to people about this. People on your Facebook, people on your Twitter thingies or whatever. Have you talked to people about it? Have you brought up some of the things we've said here? I wonder. For us to talk about it among ourselves does us nothing. Does us no good. We've got to branch out. We've got to reach other people. I'm doing all I can to help in that way. You know, we've created a T-shirt that has the sole purpose of being a walking billboard. That was tested and proved that it could generate a conversation with a stranger if you just walk it. We dropped the price to $29, $29.95. Nobody bought. So I guess from that, if we dropped it to $9.95, it wouldn't make any difference. See, these are the things that hit us in the face every day.
You want some more?
We've got to get active. We've got to get, yes, ma'am.
You want some more questions? Is it possible that Schiff can actually do anything to President Trump, even with the Mueller report being good?
Now say that again.
Is it possible that Schiff can actually do anything to President Trump, even when the Mueller report is good?
Yes. Yes. right here today is they are demanding his tax returns as if they're going to find the golden nugget there. Let me tell y'all something. Let me put it in plain language here. Mueller looked at those tax returns. Mueller had a whole staff of professional prosecutors that specialized in lynching people. They had them. Don't you know that if there was anything in his tax returns that could have been used to prosecute President Trump, he would have already done it. So once again, it's much ado about nothing. And you might ask, well, when the Mueller report comes out and it's squeaky clean, how can they claim anything? Well, they're going to claim it because it's going to be redacted. There are certain parts of it that by law have got to be redacted. And from what I have seen, Attorney General Barr fully intends to follow the law. Grand jury information, sources and methods information is going to be redacted. That's all they need, just something that people can't see, that they'll claim there's something there. What you got?
What do you think about the Notre Dame fire and who is responsible? I know you mentioned that in the beginning, but he came on late.
Well, I don't know who is responsible. I don't know what caused it. But it's symptomatic of what I've seen over and over and over again. They rule that they don't know, no cause has been found. But yet, they've already ruled out terrorism. Well, if you don't know what caused the fire, then how can you rule out terrorism? I'm not saying it was terrorism. That's just that thing that always bugs me when they say stuff like that.
Okay, here's another repeated question. Do you think Pence is really with us and Trump, or is he part of the deep state?
The only way I know how to answer that is I don't trust Pence as far as I can go. Do I believe he is still working as a part of the deep state, actively working against President Trump? I don't know. But I believe if something were to happen and President Trump was forced to step down for any reason, Pence would push us right back into the same place we've been with Clinton, Bush, Obama. He'd push us right back there. I don't trust him. The main reason I don't trust him is because he has spent years and years in politics. He's climbed the ladder. And when that happens, folks, they're contaminated. Anything else, ma'am?
Yep. Have you heard that Schiff's security clearance was pulled last Friday late afternoon?
No, I have not. And I do believe if it had occurred, there would be quite a row, not from our side, our kind of people, but there would be a huge stir claiming foul from the Democrats and from the DNC and from the mainstream media. So while I do not know if there's any truth or validity to that, I can tell you odds are, in my opinion, odds are, it's not true. Plus, I don't know what would be the cause for him to lose his security clearance. I don't know.
Okay, one more question. Will the Mueller report backfire on the Democrats and actually indict Susan Rice, Valerie Jarrett, Eric Holder, and Loretta Lynch?
No, it won't. It should, but it won't. But I can tell you that the Mueller give enough background so that they can go forward with an impeachment investigation right during the campaign. Now, that's the bad news. But the good news is there are other investigations going on now that William Barr is Attorney General that is looking into all of that. And I believe, due to how outwardly this whole cover-up of Hillary and the Clinton Foundation and the emails, that is so well known that it has got to be addressed in these investigations that are in process now. And for one major reason, if it's not, then they're proving to everyone in America that there are two standards of law in this country. Two. One for the in folks and another for the out folks. So let's hope that with the change of guard with Barr, let's hope as some of the members of the coup have been taken out, let's just hope that there is some honesty and integrity left. I don't know that there is. I truly don't know. But let's hope that there is. Anybody else?
Well, I'm going to ask you to repeat what you told me over the weekend when I asked again about Jeff Sessions recusing himself. You told me why he had to, and I didn't think that was anything secret. So
no, it's not. Jeff Sessions, when he was United States Senator, worked actively in the Trump campaign. And did y'all hear me? He was an active member of Trump's campaign. He had to recuse himself because this investigation was to look into Trump's campaign. And he would be prohibited from investigating himself. And he, like all people in the campaign, would have to be subject to investigation. He had no choice. I know it burns some people up, and I know some people are mad that they don't understand. They just don't understand the law. He could not investigate what Mueller has done. He couldn't be a part of it because he was a part of the body that was being investigated. I hope y'all understand that. And I will say this. Jeff Sessions, while not perfect, is probably the man that's done the most work towards getting the Department of Justice in a position where Barr can come in, and if Barr is straight, if he's not a part of the deep state, if he's straight, thanks to what Sessions has done internally that we would never hear about. We don't hear about. That's what will allow these investigations that are coming to actually happen. Have no doubt, if he hadn't fixed some of the major flaws in the Department of Justice, I would be sitting here today and telling you there is absolutely no hope of any investigations into the Clintons, Foundation, Uranium One, any of that. And all of that is being investigated now.
And this is where we have to remember that the wheels of government turn so ridiculously slowly. We didn't know what he was doing, but he did a lot, and it took time. And so as our McDonald's society, gimme quick, has, we're disadvantaging and we're getting frustrated, but it's not necessary because we need to remember how slow everything happens.
Well, you're absolutely right. You seeing things wheel through and shift through like the stuff you've seen Barr do with some of his indictments, that's when you start worrying. Not Barr, but Mueller. That's when you start worrying about the credibility and the honesty of the investigation. Mueller, by his charter, was never supposed to be going out and getting all the people that they were, put in prison or got about to go in prison for tax stuff or lying for this or like. Many of the people, y'all, this is what's incredible, many of the people that had pled guilty to crimes they committed when they dealt with the Mueller bunch. And like with General Flynn, come to find out, it may be that he's admitting to something that he was trapped into even doing. I mean, the FBI guys, the actual people that interviewed him, apparently have come out and said they didn't think he lied to them. A lie in that kind of environment is connected to your interpretation of the question. Now, God, Clintons do that all the time. How many times do the Clintons tell you, well, it depends on context? What was the context of the comment? Mueller had no business. His charter did not allow for him to go through and comb anybody that ever had anything to do with Donald Trump going back to his day of birth. That was not allowed, or shouldn't have been allowed, but he did. And for anybody that might still have the lingering thought that Trump must be some kind of crook, folks, let me assure you, if that man, I believe, in my opinion, if he had spit on a sidewalk when he was 10 years old, he would be impeached or out of office now. He'd be under prosecution. They looked that hard to find anything. It's incredible. I don't know if y'all realize it, but you have witnessed and are witnessing. You hear me? You've witnessed and are still witnessing an honest to God coup to take over the presidency of this nation.
Oh, I heard an interview on Fox this weekend. I heard it this morning, but it was over the weekend, laughing at how dare Trump suggest that there had been a coup.
Well, I guess you could say how dare you. How could you not call it a coup?
Exactly.
What would you call it? What would you call it when the highest levels of the FBI and Justice Department and of our security apparatus, Central Intelligence apparatus, conspired to make up a story to get him out of office? What do you call that?
Well, what I call it is fools who are believing lies and spreading them.
Well, I'm talking about some of the people that propagated it, the people that started it. Comey, Clapper, that group.
Well,
what do you call what they did, what they planned to do, what they tried to do?
Well, it sounds.
We've even got instructs on emails where he says they've got insurance policies in case he were to win.
I mean, obviously it's a coup, and it seems very treasonous in my opinion. But these people are so convinced, like Schiff, that there was some legitimacy to it. They've put their own reputations on the line, and now they're fighting to maintain, their reputation because they're being caught in lying and being fools about what they have believed. I'm talking about the media.
With that is that they have been successful in part of it. They have literally, Mary Ellen and all of they have literally turned half of this nation into a hate machine dedicated to the principle of hating Donald Trump. They have so achieved polarization at the maximum level that they have done a good job. They've done a good job. And it's going to come and culminate in November of 2020. You see, Mary Ellen, half of this country, no matter what is said, no matter what is found or not found, they're not going to believe it. They're not going to believe it. And I needn't do it, but I'm going to tell you again. 98% of the people that are going to vote in the 2020 election, 98%, if 100% of that which they consider all the news they need to have to make an educated decision. The problem is they get that news on their 6 and 10 o'clock local TV stations. And the 6 and 10 o'clock local TV stations come from ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN, and that's NBC. That's where they get their information. Think about it.
Scary.
We shouldn't have a chance, Mary Ellen. There should be no chance on earth that Donald Trump could possibly pull out a re-election bid. No chance. When you think in terms of that 100% have been fed nothing but a steady diet of 92%, I think is what they're saying, 92, 94% of the stuff they see in the news about Trump is negative.
Well, I
How
guess
could he possibly win re-election?
I guess it's thanks to AOC we've got a chance.
That, and in a funny way, one of the tricks, Mary Ellen, that we used to get Bill Clinton elected, when I was first asked to handle him or have any part with him, he was all the bad things that y'all know now, and I so stated, and then the question was thrown at me, well, then how on earth could he ever get elected? And I said, well, I didn't say I wouldn't get him elected or we couldn't get him elected. For every person that hates Bill Clinton, there's somebody that hates them. So the reason President Trump has a chance of winning is yes, 98%, if 100% bad news. But they have achieved that polarization to the degree that for as many people that just don't care about our country anymore and want it to be socialized or turned into a socialist country, there's the other half of the population don't like those people, don't like anything about them. So in a way, the same old tricks working again today, but for the good. Were it not for that, it would be over. Now, all we've got to do is make sure that our half of the country, our half of the people, 60% of which will be soft voters, which means if you're not careful, they'll stay home and not vote. We have to be sure that they come out and go vote. And that, Mary Ellen, as you know, and all of y'all should know, is the genesis of where I came up with Never Socialism. We had to find something that 60%, if they know about it, if they're convinced about it, would scare them enough and hate it enough that they'll come out to vote no matter what. And that is socialism. And then, like you say, God smiled at us again, gave us another miracle. making it clear that if we vote for them, then we will become a socialist country. And I just pray to God that we get that information to that 60% of our half of the people, so that they, no matter what, will come out and vote.
Do you think it would be fair to say our colleges are in fact communist re-education camps operating in stealth for the last 30 years?
Absolutely. Not just our colleges, not just the colleges, but it's more obvious at the college level. What I've been trying to tell y'all, starting from the minute they get into the first class they ever go to in grade school or elementary school or whatever it is, every day they're in school in the public school system of America, they are being socially engineered. And then it's fine-tuned when they get to college. Look, guys, it's no secret anymore that the majority, I don't know what the percentages are, but it's a big percentage of the professors at universities and colleges that claim they're liberal. Used to be funny, they're so liberal. Well, it's not funny now. They're progressives. They're progressives. And they're affecting the minds of our young, turning them against us.
Even the Christian schools, which is really scary.
Well, then you've got the churches. The churches fell sucker to this 501c3 trick designed beautifully to make sure that churches could no longer talk about politics from the pulpit. You see, if the church signs up to be a 501c3, they become basically a corporation to the state. And they threaten the church and say, if you violate the 501c3 or you're not a 501c3, then your tax exempt status is gone. And that's not true. A few churches now, more, thank heavens, thanks to people like Pastor Bernie Sanders and others, they still get the tax deduction. So that lie has been put away. But by now, there are so many preachers that are products of social engineering that the church is just not right. Church is just not right. Now, the Bible is taught selectively. Designer churches. Very few of your major, what do you call them, mass churches or
Mega
churches, mega churches, very few of those actually teach the Word of God through the Bible. They don't.
well,
They
and
don't mention sodomy. They don't mention sodomy.
and the pastors say that, for example, in this area, there's so many Democrats in this area that they said that they can't offend people.
Well, you know, there was a time, I understand not being a biblical scholar, but Jesus offended people. He offended, and he even said, I think, if you love me, the world will hate you.
Mm-hmm.
But stuff like that's in the Bible, I think.
Yes, sir.
But then these mega churches, they don't teach that. They don't teach that.
Okay. Couple of the questions. Do you know anything about the Good Fight show on CBS? CBS was tweeting about the show. It included a target list from the show saying a list of words that included assassinate, president, and Trump.
No, nothing nothing of it. I know nothing about it.
I heard something about it
But it does sound logical.
Yeah.
That it would be there. Sure does.
Planting subliminal.
When we stop it, it's going to be amazing what we start seeing.
Yeah. Yeah, especially when the conservative voice is shut down. What will come out will be horrid. Okay, last question. If it turns out that Notre Dame was burned down by Muslim radicals, what will be the result? Could it be a trigger event or cause a paradigm shift and awaken Christians to the migrant invasion because they've been destroying so many other churches on a regular basis by Muslim radicals?
Well, now this falls under the category of my opinion. So just take it as such, my opinion. But there's a good chance, if they find that it was terrorist, that we tell them for that reason. They'll be afraid of the reaction. Could cause a massive outburst. I mean, at some point, you got to know the Christians are going to get tired of being slammed every chance they get by the Muslims. At some point, people are going to wake up. And something like Notre Dame, if it was destroyed by the Muslim terrorists, there's a good chance at least a goodly number of people be very upset. And nobody knows where that would go. So it might be the best thing is to keep it quiet. My opinion. I don't know that.
Okay, there was one other. It was reported that the Florida DA would reopen the Jeffrey Epstein case. Can that hurt Hillary and the Democrats in any way?
If they do, it will. If they can reopen it, and it's done fairly, honestly, I believe it could hurt the Clintons. I don't know if they're going to reopen it. I just don't know. And folks, this is Monday. I've got a call that I've got to get on that's of importance to all of us. But I do need to ask, nobody is sending any help. Do we need you to? I don't know what keeps you from it. But if you can, send what you can, even if it's $1, to Nichols Live at AOL.com. Nichols Live at AOL.com. Now, some of you may notice that I've not been able to talk to everybody on the phone like normal. I'm still under the advice that I need to not be talking so much and keep my voice quiet. It's getting better. We hope it gets a lot better. But if you can, please send what you can now to Nichols Live at AOL.com. Anything in closing, Mary Ellen?
No, that's it. That's his PayPal account.
Yes. All right, guys. With that, hopefully I'll have some information that I can tell you tomorrow. That'll get you a little bit ahead of the curve. But I ask you all, when you go to the internet, you start hearing all of the stories on the internet, use discernment, use your head, don't buy into all of it. A lot is going on. A lot. But we've got to attend to what our job is, saving the country. Thanks.
I will add one more thing. When you're talking to people, if anybody is interested in running for Congress, have them get in touch with me. I don't have I'll add the phone number underneath here. They can send a text to 240-499-6729. 240-499-6729. Anybody interested in running, let me know. And we'll start giving you some info.
We're going to be running a syndicated campaign for as many candidates as we can get. So if you know people that are running or thinking about running, Carol will get in touch with that number, please.
All right, thanks, folks. And remember, tomorrow Larry's on with Jason Goodman at this time. You can find him on YouTube at either Jason Goodman or Crowdsource the Truth. And we will not be doing our program tomorrow. So we'll talk to you again on Wednesday, unless you're listening and in the chat with us on tomorrow with Jason. Thanks. Bye.